Alright, this is Avery's log for the week of the 30th of April to the 4th of May. I'm just going to keep this short and sweet and go through some of the questions. So for my internship, I'll be going to Tolero Pharmaceuticals. That's in Lehi, Utah, so pretty close to here, which is nice. My mentor will be Lars Moritzen. He is the leader of the biomarker development group at this company. While I'm interning there, I will be organizing their samples into a database, just creating a structure so that they can keep track of their samples, where their samples are going, their results from their tests, just creating something that is sustainable and is secure. And then when I'm finished with that, or in addition to that, I'll be doing some analysis on some of their data, just applying some bioinformatics tools to that. Something that I'm excited about learning, well, this is something really new for me. I'm excited to get a taste of what it's like to work in industry, since I've only ever done research before. Yeah, I'm excited to learn about the biomarker research and how they develop the biomarkers, and also how they develop these drugs. So a little bit about Tolero. They're primarily developing cancer drugs, and they do clinical trials for these. Mostly right now they're in phase 1 and phase 2 of these trials, working with animal samples and human samples, just to monitor the reactions that their patients have to the drugs, and just what kind of effects the drugs cause in the body, which is pretty interesting. Something that I'm nervous about, well, anytime someone starts a new experience, there's always that part of the experience where it's kind of a learning curve, where you feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. So I'm kind of nervous for that. It's always a little nerve-wracking to not know what you're doing for the first part of it. Something that I hope to accomplish, I hope to create a sustainable database, but I also hope to establish some long-lasting relationships with some of the employees, just to get to know people and get to know the industry. I hope to learn new skills, new bioinformatics skills, but also new networking skills. And I hope to just enjoy the research and enjoy learning about this company and about the cancer drugs that they're developing. My expectations for this experience, I don't have a lot right now, but I'm hoping to grow a little bit personally, and just to be able to kind of see if working in industry is something that I want to do. And yeah, I just hope to have fun researching and helping out this company with their database. So yeah. Hi, this is Avery's log from the date of May 7th to 11th. I missed last week, so that's what this video is going to be about. I'm just going to go over some of the first impressions I had over the first couple of weeks of working. So I think about my workplace, I don't know, it's a nice place. It's pretty new. The company's pretty new. It started only 7 years ago, and they just moved into this office, so it's a really nice office. They have 2 fish tanks in the office with these fish that are genetically modified to glow neon colors, which is kind of cool. Other than that, they gave me a key card, which is pretty fancy. I can get into like the lab and some of the other conference rooms, so that's cool. My colleagues are very nice and hardworking. They're kind of intimidating sometimes, just how smart and detail-oriented they are. The other day, we had a meeting with my group, the biomarker group, and we spent like an entire hour going over this project that someone was presenting, just because everyone needed to have every detail exactly figured out, which was awesome. Like by the end, everyone had a really good understanding of the project and just what needed to be done to go forward. I'm really excited about just being able to get started into some of the more challenging work. Maybe right now I'm just kind of trying to learn everything, and I haven't really been able to do anything like super meaningful, but I'm excited to be able to get started in more of the meaningful work. I'm worried though that as I progress in starting more meaningful work, that I guess that I won't know what I'm doing, but also just that like I'll make mistakes, which has already happened, and I'll talk about that in the next video, but I guess it'll be a good learning experience even when I do make mistakes, and yeah, I'm really excited. So this is Avery's log from May 14th to May 18th. That's for this week. And I'm just going to talk about an experience I had this week with a task that needed to be done that I made a lot of mistakes doing, but I learned a lot from. So on Wednesday, we had this assignment, me and another person in the lab. We needed to prepare these clinical samples to be shipped to a company by the end of the day, and we needed to get them done by 5:30. Yeah, 5:30, because that's when FedEx closed and they couldn't ship anymore. So we started when I got there at 1 o'clock, and we had to split the samples. They were serum samples mostly, into more tubes, and then we had to relabel them, organize them into boxes, write down everything that we had and the volumes. It was kind of a complicated process, and there was a lot to keep track of with the different types of samples and the different labels that we had to do. Anyways, I didn't listen very well, I guess, and the person who was organizing this told us that there were certain samples that we needed to thaw and put in different tubes, and there were certain samples that we didn't need to thaw. We just needed to relabel them. But I ended up putting all the labels, even the ones for the ones that didn't need to be thawed, on all new tubes. So we had to thaw all the samples and transfer them into these new tubes because, I don't know. It was just crazy, and it took way longer than it needed to. I was there until about 7 at night, and I usually get off at 5. and we weren't able to get them shipped out, and the things that were supposed to stay frozen were thawed, and it was just a disaster. But luckily it turned out okay. We were able to get everything in the tubes where they needed to be, and we shipped them out a couple of days later, and the other company that needed the samples was fine, I guess. But I learned a lot from that experience, just about listening well and asking questions when I'm not sure about something. And in this business, it's very important to be exact about everything and to always follow directions to the T. So I learned more about that too, that there's not multiple right ways of doing things. There's one right way, and you gotta do it the right way. There's no cutting corners, I guess. So that's what I learned this week. A new skill about listening and communicating. Hi, this is Avery's vlog for the dates of May 21st to the 25th for last week. And I went to a company meeting last week that was pretty cool. They were presenting on some of the research that they're doing and just some of the progression that they've made and the next steps they're doing in their research. And I don't know if I've already said this, but Tolero Pharmaceuticals is mostly focused on research for cancer treatments, which is kind of interesting. And one of the people presenting at this meeting, something that he said really stuck out to me. He said, even if I just save one person, then it's all worth it. And he said that when he comes to work every day, he thinks about how the work that he's doing is saving lives. And so I think that really helps me just as I'm working through some pretty tough challenges with this internship. It's been pretty hard to learn the skills that I need and just learn the trade kind of. I don't know, it's a lot of specialized knowledge about cancer and different treatments for it. Yeah, it's been a lot to learn, but anyways, it's comforting to me to think that when I come to work every day, I'm helping save lives and I'm helping learn new things. So that was last week. So this is the log for the 28th of May to the 1st of June. It's almost the end of the week, so I'll just do it right now. I don't know if I talked about this before, but something that I think is really interesting about this company is that they were bought by a larger pharmaceutical company in Japan, and they are super proud of their Japanese heritage. Like, all of their conference rooms are named after cities in Japan, and the key cards, I have mine, look like the Japanese flag, which are super cool. And there are also a lot of people that I work with that are from Japan. They came from the other company, and it's really interesting to talk to them. One guy that I talked to, I was being introduced to him, and right before I left, he was like, "So your name is Avery-san?" And I was like, I don't know if he just got my name wrong or what. I looked it up later, and apparently san is like a suffix that means something in Japanese. It's like part of their honorific system. I don't know. I thought that was really cool. Just to be able to experience a little bit of their culture by interacting with these people from Japan. And yeah, so that's it for this week. Hi, this is Avery's log for the dates of June 4th to the 8th. I'm currently in the office that I'm kind of squatting in right now. They don't have like a set office space for me, but I'm in this one until further notice, and it's kind of cool and nice, and there's a swivel chair. So anyways, this week and the end of last week, I guess, has been a week of conference calls, which is really exciting. Yeah, I had my first conference call last week, and I had to kind of organize it and just like email everyone the invites and everything and set it up. It was just on someone's computer. We all connected, and that was interesting. Yeah, I didn't talk a lot, and so the people on the other line kept forgetting that I was there and just referring to all of us as gentlemen. So I guess that taught me a lesson that I should not be afraid to participate in these conference calls, and that I should speak up. But I think I'm getting better at it as I go. I've had a couple of conference calls just like by myself this week, and yeah, I've just, sorry. It was hard at first because I would never know what to say, and I felt awkward about calling people, but after a while I kind of gotten into this, into the groove of things. I would write down all my questions before the call, and then during the call I could kind of pull up those questions whenever there was kind of a silence, and that was helpful. And also I just relaxed and remembered that the people were all people, and we were just having a conversation, so that was cool. Yeah, that was this week of conference calls. I learned how to set up conference calls and how to interact with people on conference calls, so it's a good skill to learn, I think. Anyways, that's it. This is Avery's log for the dates of June 18th to the 22nd. Something interesting that happened this week. There was an interview this week for a position in my group, and I kind of got to sit in on that, and our group just got to talk to one of the people who was interviewing, and she was super nice. She seemed very experienced, which was awesome, and she had a lot of experience with what I'm doing, which is, trying to figure out this biobanking system for the company I'm at. And it was cool for me to be able to talk to her kind of about her experience figuring out like sample tracking and biobanking things. It was also cool for me, like as an intern, to be part of that interviewing meeting. I don't know, I felt kind of important. And it was nice that they thought that I was capable enough, I guess, to give my input and to be able to answer her questions. So yeah, that was something cool that happened this week. Hi, so this is Avery's log for the week of June 25th to 29th, it looks like. This week I went full-time. Before I was taking a spring semester class at the same time as working, so I was just doing part-time. But now I'm 8 to 5, and it's pretty fun. I like being able to just come here and focus on one thing all day, and I get a lot more done that way. It's been kind of hard to be able to focus for so long, but I break my day up into 20-minute segments so that I can keep going on a task. So yeah, that's been my week, is adjusting to a full-time schedule. Also, I got a keyboard this week. I'm borrowing it from the company, I guess, and it's been really nice. So, a lot of exciting things, and I'm excited to see what I can get done in the next couple of months now that I'm working more. Hi, this is Avery's log for the week of July 16th through the 20th. Not much interesting happened this week, but I had 3 conference calls yesterday, which was more than I've ever had in a day, so that was exciting. And I've been working on this database to keep track of samples and everything, and just all the data that goes along with those samples for a whole different, a bunch of different studies. And I'm using Microsoft Access to do this, and that's pretty much what I've been working on this week, is just that Access database. It's really hard because I've had to learn VBA and just everything associated with Access. I didn't even know what it was before a couple months ago. So that's been a real learning experience, and yeah, that's basically what I've been up to this week, is working on the database. I've had a lot of humbling experiences this week too. I think as I've been working on this database and just pulling data from different Excel files and different places and putting it in, and I've been making forms so that people can access the data really easily, and input the data really easily without having to go in and manually type it. I think as I've been doing that and creating it, the database has kind of become my baby, and I'm very protective of it. And if anyone ever says anything that needs improving, I kind of get up in arms. But I think I've made like a couple of realizations this week as I've made different mistakes, and as people have come up to me and told me different things that they wanted to change. And I realized that as much work as I have put into this, I can always do better, and I can always learn more. So yeah, that's another learning experience. I've learned VBA and also humility. It's been great. But yeah, that's it for this week. Alright, this is Avery's log for the week of July 23rd to the 27th. I'm going to make this quick because my phone's running out of memory. But this week was pretty exciting because I've been making all these graphs and figures for just based on the data that people have been giving me. Lately, people have been asking to use these figures in presentations, so that's been really cool for me to be able to actually, contribute to that. And so that's been interesting, but it's also kind of rough because I'm not very used to having deadlines with this internship. Usually I finish things pretty quick, but I don't really have any set amount of time that I have to finish them. But now I've been having these deadlines where people need these figures for presentations, and I need to finish them by that time. And it's really made me realize some of the habits that I've picked up, just little things that waste some time. So that's been good for me to be able to cut those things out and be more efficient. And I think as this internship is coming to an end, I'm going to be feeling that more and more as I'm trying to finish everything that I need to before before I have to go back to school in the fall. So yeah, lessons this week, just learning about time management and feeling pretty good about myself for being able to contribute to people's presentations. So that's it. Hello. This is Avery's log for the week of July 30th to August 3rd. Something that happened this week is I've been working on my final presentation for my internship at Tulare. They have all the interns present what they've been working on all summer in the last weeks of August. And my presentation is this next week on Tuesday, so that's exciting. I've been working on that, and I had the nerve-wracking task of doing like a dry run presentation today with my team, and they gave me some advice and maybe some things that I should change. And yeah, it was very nerve-wracking, even though it was just a practice. It's never easy to go up in front of people and ask them to give you constructive criticism, but it was a really good experience for me, and I'm really glad that I was able to practice in front of my team before I give the presentation in front of everyone. So it was really good, and they had really good advice. So I was really glad for that experience, and I'm very glad that I only have a couple days left, and left till my presentation, that is, because I'm very nervous for it, but I think if I take the time to practice and to take all of the suggestions that my team gave me, I'll be prepared and it will go okay. So yeah, that's it for this week.